So today we're going to talk about the TCM, Transmission Control Module. This is a 2020 GMC Elevation, and on the internet I tried to find location and it was very difficult. They were not the ones that had the right spot. So I'm going to show you today how and where this TCM is located, because it is a hidden little bugger. And so let's get into it a little bit. And the tools that you're going to need is a Torx bit and a 10mm socket. And I'm going to show you the location of where those go. Now, you don't have to take the front tire off. You can just turn the wheel on it, because you have to get up underneath right inside there. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to take the wheel off because it's easier for me, and so I'm just going to take that wheel off, and then we'll dive into where it's at. Okay, so I have the wheel off. One of the things that I recommend is that you take your wheel and tire and you stick them up underneath the vehicle, just in case it happens to fall off that jack, or to use a jack stand, anything to that nature. So up on inside this wheel well, and I apologize for it being dark, but inside the back of here is where your ECM is, and behind the ECM is where the TCM is. The Torx bit, there's several little screws here on the inside that you need to take off. You don't need to take them off all the way, but I recommend to about halfway taking these off. Okay, so let's get them off. So just want to show you with my light on here. And then there is one up here that is not a screw-in type, and it takes a special little tool to pop those off, but you can just use a flathead screwdriver and put it between the two pieces of plastic and pop that out. Let me finish this off. So the sun is coming out and starting to get a little bit lighter out here, so you can see that this here just comes down, and I've only got it about halfway, right? And then inside here, that right there is your ECM, and then right behind it, right up in there, is your TCM. So we have to take out this bolt, the bolt over there, and then there's one up underneath, and I'll show you those as well. Okay, now that I've removed this bolt and this bolt over here, that last bolt is right up underneath here. And I've moved the tire over just a little bit so that I can get up underneath. And you can see it. Again, apologize for it being dark. Right there. So you have the two bolts that I took out already are here and here, and the third one is just right there. Sorry that that's blurry, but it's nighttime. Okay, now that I have all three bolts undone, this piece will simply fall out. I can just kind of pull this whole thing out like this, and then right there is my TCM. Okay, if you notice, there's just a little clip right here that holds it in. You think, well, why can't we just do this while it's still back there? The electrical wires prevent that from coming out. Plus, it's back up inside here. It's very difficult to get out. Plus, you've got to be able to release this clip right here. So let's look at that. Just kind of get this down just a little bit. And again, I apologize because it's dark out and I'm doing this one-handed. But there's a clip right here, and you have to push in to release and then lift this lever up, and then this whole thing will come off. I'll try to show you that once I get it out. Alright, so again, I apologize for this not being the best, but when this thing's in the back, you got to push this thing backwards that way, and then there's also a little thing you got to push down, and then this whole thing just pulls out, and then you can just lift this right off. And very difficult to do without two hands. All right, now that I got that off, all I have to do is push this back and then slide that whole piece out of there. This thing just slides in and out. I had to do this. So again, I push that clip. Now this whole thing will just slide out, And there it is. Okay. And this was actually a part that, and I'll have it at the end of this video, a video that I did a little bit earlier. And so this is actually a part that I got from LKQ, and it turned out to be a bad part. So I'm actually putting the old one back in, and then I'll just order a brand new one. Tried to use part route, but it didn't work out. So let me show you. And this is what's called a T93, and there's two ways that you can tell. Typically, if you flip it over, like it says T93 right there. And then also on this side, it should say down in here somewhere. Let's see if I can zoom in. I think it says somewhere in here. Yeah, there it is. See where it says T93 right there. So that's how we know this is a T93. And let's just double check, make sure they sent me the right one on that side, which they did. So it's just that they sent me a bad one. So again, the main reason that I did this video is because I looked online trying to get the location of that, of the TCM, transmission control module. And most of them had shown that it is, you know, like down up inside here. But this is a 2020 GMC Elevation 5.3 liter V8, and again, it is down in this area, but it is behind the ECM, and so when looking for it, it's so difficult to see. You can't find it, and then that's when I decided, well, let me pull this out and see, and that's where I found it. I also want to make sure I'm telling you, I know I stated it earlier, but before you disconnect that, make sure that you've disconnected your ground. All right, now let's hop in and see what happens when we start her up. The one that I got from LKQ threw all kinds of error codes out. The traction control, I think, was out. I'll show a picture of it, I think. But the check engine light, the traction control, the parking, all of that was out when I put the one from LKQ in there. And you can see those are all cleared up now. And there you go, 2020 GMC TCM location.